So I have a couple of friends over the years that have served in different parts of the armed services. And there's some things that they've said or picked up along the way that always just kind of resonate with me. One was something that my uncle, who served in the Navy, talked about from time to time. And he used to occasionally talk about this thing that they'd call channel fever, which is something they'd have when you'd been out on deployment, out at sea, and they're returning. And the idea is something like this. When you've been out for a while and you're going back towards home and you can see land, you're in the channel to go towards port where you'll finally have freedom and life and things can loosen up a bit. When you're at that stage, it goes on forever. That last bit, that stretch in the channel but not the port, it makes everyone just a little bit crazy. They're just chomping at the bit. Think of it, it's something like cabin fever that we all experience in winter, only a couple magnitudes worse. And I've been thinking about that some for just generally where we are and where we've been over the last 12 months, because there's a part of me that feels like we've got some just channel fever going on. Things continue to look optimistic. Case numbers are still down from where they were not too long ago. Vaccination rates are up and continue to go up. And even things in church begin and are moving back towards normal bit by bit. I can see the time in the not too distant future where the safeguards get loosened and we're back to things being normal. And to go with the analogy, we can see land, we can see the future, but we are still in the channel and not quite to the dock yet. It reminds me of the verse of scripture from Jeremiah 29, verse 11, that many of us know, where it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for you to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." But what's amazing about that verse is it actually comes after God has told his people that they're going to go into exile for 70 years, where he tells them they're going to have to do something hard that none of them want to do. You're going to go into exile and I'm going to take care of you, is what God says. Even if the timing isn't what you want, things are good and abounding with hope. And that's how things work, both in this world and with God. While he promises he'll provide for us and take care of us, he doesn't always mean that it's going to happen in the timeline that we want. And then while that feels true of the Israelites, it also feels true of us in our lives and where we find ourselves. So friends, wherever you are in this day, in this week, in this season, grace and peace as we look to the end, as we ride out the channel, and we know the promises that God makes before us. Grace and peace, friends. Have a good week.